This is Marcus Kowal with Studio MMA and MMAnytt, and we're here in Las Vegas at the UFC headquarters with the president of UFC, Dana White, and we're here to talk mainly about UFC Sweden, obviously, which is the next UFC event to come up. So the quality of female fighters, as well as quality of male fighters from where the sport was 10 years ago, not just marketing and business and so on, but the level of fighters to where it is today. You've been there since day one, obviously, for the Ultimate Fighter show. Do you notice a difference in how the guys train? Not just the different level of athletes coming into the show in itself, but the level of training, the regimen of training that they... Have you seen a difference from season 1 to now?
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, just the guys that I knew, you know, when we first bought this company, like Chuck Liddell, yeah, he wrestled and he did some kickboxing. Right. Then he had to learn everything else. And then, you know, you had Couture, who was a wrestler and had to learn everything else. These kids that are coming in today, they trained at a young age as mixed martial artists. Yeah. You know, so the whole level of, not to mention the fact that the training has changed, but again, the guys, what I was talking about, the heavyweight division, guys that would have played football, basketball, or some other sport, John Jones. Yeah. Now these guys are coming in and doing mixed martial arts instead because there's money here. We're on major networks all over the world. It's just, this has become a real sport. And then when you make, I mean, come on, let's be honest here. You know, do you want to be a fucking football player throwing a football around? Or do you want to be the heavyweight champion of the fucking world? I mean, seriously, is there any debate?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And especially the fact that, you know, you can become a huge superstar, make tons of money, be on television. You know, I'd take a mixed martial. And to be honest with you, being a mixed martial artist is a lot safer than playing football. The average career in the NFL is like 4 years or something like that. Wow. Randy Couture fought till he was 40-something. You know, the sport's a lot safer, way cooler, and, you know, a lot more longevity in your career.
And when it comes to the pair fighters and how they're doing, you guys have created several millionaires from the sport, taking the sport to a completely different level. But there's been some talk lately about, you know, what fighters get paid and so on. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. In the next 5 years, too, that's the other thing, too, that's going to happen is the money's going to get bigger and bigger, too. But these guys are making, trust me. You guys know what my opinion is on fighter pay. I don't talk about it, and I don't whatever. They're making plenty of money, believe me. Plenty of fucking money. You got guys that you know, if you, I'll give you an example, and I'll talk about one guy's pay. If you look at somebody like Forrest Griffin, yeah, right? Forrest Griffin came off season 1 of The Ultimate Fighter, and he did very well. He became very popular. He ended up winning the title. He had the title, I think, for one fight, and then lost his next in his first title defense, right? Yeah. And, you know, he hasn't been a huge superstar. He hasn't been an Anderson Silva, George St. Pierre, or some of the other guys that have held the title for a while and become big superstars. But, you know, he's had a pretty decent name in mixed martial arts. He's a fucking multi-millionaire. Okay?
Say so right there.
There you go. Don't let the fact that he's still driving the fucking car that he won on season 1 of The Ultimate Fighter today, that just means he's cheap and he's doing the right things with his money. But, you know, the one thing that I never have and I never will, I don't talk about the money because first and foremost, it's nobody's fucking business. You know what I mean? When you see the fighters, when you see our fighters rallying to get together to say, fuck this shit, we need more money, you don't. What you see is the media and other fucking people around buzzing around because they want to know. They want to know what these guys make. And if in the 11 years, 1,700 fights, I've never seen a worse fucking ass whooping. I mean a just fucking straight out, ugly, vicious fucking beating than the beating Lorenzo Fertitta gave that guy from ESPN. Okay? So if that doesn't tell the fucking story, nothing does.
But, you know, like you said, you don't like to talk about it, and it's not any, you know, it's not people's business, but you give out bonuses in the locker rooms to great fights, to fight of the night. Now it's becoming a little bit more known, but you've done it for years, and you kind of kept it under the radar. Yeah. Why?
Because it's nobody's business.
But
how much money guys make? Believe me, when we first, let me tell you this story. When we first did the deal with Fox, right, and we're sitting in the room with all the Fox executives, and you know we're talking about kicking ideas around about promoting the sport and all this stuff. And they said, and they asked how much these guys make. So when we started laying out how much money these guys make, the guys from, now Fox deals with the NFL, Major League Baseball, NASCAR. So we lay out how much these guys make, and they're like, are you fucking shitting me? Why would you not promote that everywhere? That these guys make this much money? Blah, blah, blah. And they said, remember the big Tyson fights? Every time Tyson fought, it would say he was making 40-something million for this fight. He was making this and that.
Yeah.
And then I said, and look what happened to Mike Tyson.
That's true. That's a good point.
You know what I mean? And there was right when that was going on, that talk with ESPN, is when, you guys won't know about this probably, but there was a baseball guy here named Prince Fielder. Okay? He's Cecil Fielder's son. And he just signed some outrageous contract. I don't remember what, like 300 million or some crazy shit. I don't remember the number, but it was some crazy number. All you fucking heard about on the news for an entire week was that this guy made 300 million bucks. Now, when he got this contract deal, I bet he was pumped, right?
Right.
Let's talk to him in 2 fucking years.
So much of that.
Yeah. Let's talk to Prince Fielder in 2 years and see how excited he is that the press pumped for an entire week how much money he was making. You know what I mean?
I know the shocks.
It's a fucking curse, man.
Yeah.
And when you're a professional athlete, what you're supposed to be focused on is training and keeping everything together. It's hard enough to keep everything together in your life without having all these scumbags and fucking Klingons and maggots coming trying to fucking take from you.
Right.
And that's what happens. I have sat down and talked to Mike Tyson at length about his life and the shit that he went through and what went on. And many other boxers too.
Right.
I know how this shit works, man. And the reality is, it's nobody's fucking business how much money these guys make. They only want to know for bad reasons.
Yeah. No,
they want to publish it, print it everywhere. And what's the thing that happens in baseball too? They start saying, this guy's making 300 million and he's not even fucking producing. What a fucking bum. Get rid of this guy. We're paying this guy 300. Fuck you. Fuck you. All these people that want to know how much money these guys make, it's none of your fucking business. Period.
Good point. Good point. So with these fighters, you mentioned that you created millionaires and they're making good money. Oscar De La Hoya, when he founded the Golden Boy Promotions, was trying to get fighters educated in business and so on. What's your recommendation to? Obviously, everyone's different. Everyone's got different personalities and so on. It was up to you. What would you want fighters to do? What would be the ultimate thing to do once you decide that your UFC MMA career is over? We've seen you take in Chuck Liddell with the UFC and so on. But what else?
Well, you got to understand, Chuck Liddell is a guy whom a lot of people that don't understand the early days of MMA and what was going on and how the landscape looked back then. I mean, this guy couldn't have been a better friend, a better fighter, a better world champion, a better partner. I mean, he helped us build this business.
Right.
So everything that this guy has earned, everything that he has achieved, and everything that he has going on for him right now, he absolutely, positively deserves. And then what we've been doing, I don't know how many years we've been doing it now, but we've been doing this thing called the Fighter Summit, where we fly in all of our fighters from all over the world,
right,
and we sit them down and we talk to them about, pay their taxes. Fucking don't do this, don't do that. We go through this whole list of things that we think people should know. And the key, the biggest thing when you're a professional athlete, when you're an actor, when you're a musician, is paying your taxes. Because you're responsible. Let's say you get a check. Say you get a check from us for $2 million bucks. Just throwing it out there. Sounds like a fun number. You get a check, because this is why I say 2 million. Because this is how fucking crazy it is. So you get a check for $2 million bucks. Fuck, I got $2 million, man. I'm gonna buy $1 million house. I'm gonna buy a new fucking car. Maybe I'll buy 2 cars, trick them out, do this. I'm gonna take my girl on that trip she wanted to go on. I'm gonna buy my mom a fucking house. You got $2 million bucks. No, you don't. Depending on what tax bracket you're in, the government's gonna take almost $1 million of that fucking money.
Even in the United States? I thought that was just in Sweden.
Fuck no, man. Here too. It's crazy over here. Economy's hurting. They need our money. So yeah, you think you got $2 million, you don't have fucking $2 million. And that's what happens to a lot of these, actors and rappers and musicians and, the list, and fighters. The list goes on and on.
Right.
You get a check for $2 million, it's not $2 million bucks. You have to pay your taxes. So when you start thinking about all the shit you're gonna, and you're sitting there, you're going, how the fuck did I blow $2 million? Well, you didn't really have $2 million. You had $1 million something, $1.2 million, or whatever it is after you paid your taxes. You know. So we try to. My point to that long, stupid story was, we try to educate these guys on this so that shit doesn't happen to them. The money that these guys make, here's what I can't do. It's like everybody's like, when are you going to get harder on fucking steroids? And when are you going to do this? And when are you going to do that? And you know, how are you going to make it so that these guys stay healthy? And how are you going to make it? How the fuck can I really do all? I mean, these guys are grown men.
Yeah.
We do the best we can. You know, I mean, if you look at what the Nevada State Athletic Commission does on steroids,
yeah,
the government fucking regulates us. We're the most regulated sport on the fucking planet, okay? On top of that, now we're testing everybody that comes in to the UFC. If you sign a contract with us, you're being tested for all kinds of drugs, right?
Wow.
Since season 1 of The Ultimate Fighter, you were tested for everything before you came on Tough. Background checks, fucking everything, right?
Nice.
So we do all this stuff already, and then somebody will get popped and everybody runs to me. I have 375 guys under contract. I run this huge business. I just told you what the next 2 years of my fucking life are going to be like, and I'm supposed to be babysitting these guys? They're grown fucking men. You know what I mean? If a guy gets a check for $2 million, I can't tell him how to fucking spend it. No. All I can do is tell him what the realities are and what can happen if you don't do the right things. And you don't want to be this guy that your career ends and you've blown all your fucking money and you're standing around going now, oh shit, what do I do?
No.
You know?
Yeah, good point.
It's easy to point the finger and say, oh, he should do this, he should do that, but there's only so much you can really do.
You mentioned Mike Tyson. You sat down with him. You came from a boxing background yourself. Are you still a boxing fan?
Love boxing. Yeah, I love it. If there's a great boxer, I will, not only will I watch Pacquiao versus Mayweather, I'll be there.
The next question. Really?
Fuck yeah, I'll be there. I won't miss that one.
Would you put money on it?
Hell yeah, I will.
And who would you put the money on?
Pacquiao.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
I like Pacquiao. Especially the longer this thing goes, dude, Floyd's 35 years old.
That's a good point.
Pacquiao's 33. You know what I mean? The longer Floyd drags this thing out, I think the worse it is for him. And I hate the fact that he wants to call himself the best in the world, but isn't willing to, you know, step up and prove it.
You got to fight everyone.
You do. You got to do it. If you really believe that, then fucking take the fight. Give him the 50-50 split. If there's ever a fight in the history of the world that deserves 50-50, it's this fight. You know, these guys are going to make almost $100 million apiece. And I truly believe this is the last boxing event that pretty much most of the world cares about. Most of the world wants to see this fight.
Can you, 5 years, 10 years from now, do you think there'll be a day that UFC fighters will make $100 million for a fight like that?
I do.
Yeah?
I do. As it continues to, the thing is, you don't know where this thing's going.
Excluding
inflation. Meaning, where are we going with pay-per-view?
Right.
Are we going to subscription? How's this whole television internet thing going to change? You know? So we'll see what happens.
I have 5 quick questions for you from the Swedish fans. I'm going to ask you real quick and just quick answer. I wrote them down because I couldn't remember them all.
Or ring it.
Swedish meatballs, good or shit?
Never had them. You tell me.
Fedor Emelianenko in the UFC? Yeah.
No, he'll never fight in the UFC. He's past his prime, and you know let me tell you what. And you've heard this story before, and it's fucking true, and you know it's true, Vadim, you sneaky bastard. We flew out to this fucking island in the middle of nowhere and gave them the best fucking deal in the history of mankind. And Vadim, I bet you wish you could jump in a fucking time machine and go back there and take that deal now, don't you? But dummy.
We already spoke about this, why hiding the locker room bonuses. You already spoke about that. Sweden, can they expect an annual trip to Sweden every year?
It was very successful, sold out fast. I don't see why we won't be going to Sweden all the time now.
First time though, April 14th, UFC in Globen. Dana White's first visit to Sweden.
Yep.
Looking forward to see you in Sweden for the first time. And
pumped to go.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Any fights, except from the main event, obviously, that you're really pumped to see?
I love the whole card. It's a great fucking card, man. I'm excited for the Paulo Thiago fight. What's the other really good fight on that card? Where's the card?
You have it that close?
I got it. I should have it here. Yeah, right here. Diego Nunes is fighting.
Yes.
From the Ultimate Fighter. He's explosive, and he's fighting Dennis Seaver. That should be a sick fight.
You'll see an interview with Diego this week on Studio MMA as well.
Oh, yeah? You got him?
Yeah, he's training down with us in
and
LA.
I always love when Brian Stan fights.
Yeah.
It's always fun to see Brian Stan. Let's see, what else? We got DeMarcus Johnson's always fun.
One of the questions actually from the fans was why Papi Abedi versus James Head?
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. You're going to have to call Joe Silva about that one, man.
Hey,
why not?
Yeah.
Why? Do you guys hate that fight? What, do you think that's a weird fight or something? Because they're both welterweights? I don't know. You're going to have to ask Joe Silva about that one.
All right.
I can't answer that question for you.
April 14th. Thank you so much, Dana. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure, brother.
Hope to see you back in Sweden soon.
All right.